Hello friends, welcome back to Learn with Biju. Hope you are enjoying these sessions. Today we are going to discuss 8 Python distributions for every programming need. When you choose Python for software development, you choose a large language ecosystem with a wealth of packages covering all manner of programming needs. But in addition to the libraries for everything from Java development to machine learning, you can also choose from a number of Python runtimes, and some of these runtimes may be better suited to the use case you have at hand than others. Here is a brief tour of Python distribution from the standard implementation CPython to versions optimized for speed like PyPy for special use cases, Anaconda, ActivePython, and Python, etc. I'm sure this is going to help you choose between the right Python runtime for your use case. So let's begin. I'm going to explain you the 8 different Python distributions that we can use in our application. CPython, Anaconda Python, ActivePython, PyPy, Jthon, IronPython, WinPython, and we also having Python Portable. Let's go into each distribution and see what are their use cases, what are their limitations. Number 1, CPython. CPython is a reference implementation of Python, the standard version that all other Python incarnations look to. CPython is written in C. The default installation available from python.org is CPython. This installation comes with Python interpreter, Python IDE, and pip package installer. When you download Python from python.org, the default is CPython. What are the use cases for CPython? Because CPython is the reference implementation of Python, it is the most conservative in terms of its optimization. CPython is your best choice when compatibility and conformity to the Python standards matters more than anything. CPython is also useful for expert who wants to work with Python in its most fundamental incarnation and who is willing to forego certain conveniences. For example, with CPython, you have to do little more lifting to set up virtual environments compared to the other distributions like Anaconda Python. So you may ask, since CPython is the default, why limitations? Yes, there are some limitations for CPython. CPython does not have the performance optimization found in other editions of Python. There is no native JIT just-in-time compiler, no accelerated math libraries, and no third-party additions for the sake of performance. Number 2, Anaconda distribution. This is the world's most popular open source Python distribution platform. Anaconda bundles many of the most common libraries used in commercial and scientific Python work. SciPy, NumPy, Number, and so on. Anaconda stands out from other distributions in how it integrates all these pieces. Another boom is the way Anaconda handles components from outside the Python ecosystem. If Anaconda is so great, why limitations? Yes, there are some limitations for Anaconda too. And because Anaconda includes so many useful libraries and can install even more with only a few keystrokes, the size of an Anaconda installation can be much larger than CPython. A basic CPython installation runs about 100 MB. Anaconda installation can grow to gigabytes in size. Number 3, active state. Like Anaconda, ActivePython is created and maintained by a for-profit company. Some of the use cases for ActivePython. ActivePython is aimed at enterprise users and data scientists, people who want to use Python but don't want to spend a lot of effort assembling and managing a Python installation. There is one potential drawback to the ActivePython, which is its approach to handling packages with external dependencies. If you want to upgrade to a newer version of a project with complex dependencies, example TensorFlow, you will need to upgrade your ActivePython installation as well. Number 4, PyPy, a fast, compliant, alternative implementation of Python. PyPy is a drop-in replacement for the Python interpreter. PyPy uses just-in-time JIT compilation to speed up the execution of Python programs. A common complaint about Python generally and in CPython in particular is speed. By default, Python runs many times slower than C, sometimes hundreds of times slower. PyPy compiles Python code into machine language, providing a 7.7 times speed up over CPython on average. Some tasks run as much as 50 times faster. PyPy has some limitations. PyPy has always performed best with pure Python applications. Python packages that interface with C libraries such as NumPy have not fared as well due to the way PyPy has emulated CPython's native binary interfaces. Number 5, Jthon. Jthon project provides implementation of Python in Java. Jthon compiles Python 2.x code to JVM bytecode and runs the resulting program on the JVM. In some cases, a Jthon compiled program will run faster than its CPython counterpart. The biggest advantage Jthon provides is direct interoperability with the rest of the Java ecosystem. Java is used even more widely than Python. Running Python on the JVM allows Python developers to tap into the enormous ecosystem of libraries and frameworks that they otherwise wouldn't be able to use. Limitations. The biggest drawback to Jthon is that it supports only the 2.x branch of Python. While Jthon brings Python to the JVM, it does not bring Python to Android. As there is currently no port of Jthon to Android proper, Jthon can be used to develop Android applications. Number 6, IronPython. IronPython is an open source implementation of the Python programming language which is tightly integrated with the .NET. Just as Jthon in an implementation of Python, just as Jthon is an implementation of Python on the JVM, IronPython is an implementation of Python on the .NET runtime or CLR, Common Language Runtime. IronPython uses the DLR, Dynamic Language Runtime of the CLR to allow Python programs to run with the same degree of dynamism that they do in CPython. Let's look at some of the use cases. Like Jthon, IronPython is bridge. A big use case is interoperability between Python and the .NET universe. Existing .NET assemblies can be loaded in IronPython programs using Python's native import and object manipulation syntax. Yes, IronPython too have some limitations. Like Jthon, IronPython currently supports only Python 2.x. However, work is underway to create an IronPython 3.x implementation. Number 7, WinPython. As the name implies, WinPython is a Python distribution created specifically for users of Microsoft Windows. WinPython's main attraction is that it is a self-contained edition of Python. It doesn't have to be installed on the machine where it runs. It just needs to be unpacked into a directory. One limitation of WinPython is that it might include too much by default for some use cases.
To remedy that, WinPython's creator provide a zero version of each WinPython edition containing only the most minimal possible install of the product. Number 8. Python Portable. Python Portable is a portable version of Python for Windows. Python Portable is the CPython runtime in a self-contained package. It comes courtesy of the Portable DevApps collection of similarly self-contained application. Some of the use cases for portable Python. Python Portable includes slew of packages for scientific computing. Python Portable runs without needing to be formally installed on the Windows host. It can live in any directory or on a removable drive. It includes Spider IDE and Python's pip package manager, so you can add, change, or remove packages as needed. Unlike WinPython, Python Portable does not include a C or C++ compiler. You will need to provide a C compiler to make use of code written with CPython and thus compiled to C.
In this session, we were focusing on Python distributions, and I'm sure you have got good understanding of the Python runtimes by now. And you should be able to choose the right Python runtime for your programming need. And you know the CPython is a standard runtime, and there are multiple version runtimes characterized with speed, performance, etc. If you like this session, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.